Okay, so I'm going to start from the beginning. Why did you pick your gamer tag? What was the story behind that?
I've had Buzzo for probably 5 years.
Wasn't it Buzzin' though?
I started off with Buzzin'. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I used to be one of those kids who was, I played Battlefield back in the old days, and I'd always change my name, literally every single day.
So you had a whole string of gamer tags?
Yeah. I was probably 11, 12, and I'd always be like, oh, this name looks cool. V's at the end, and little X, big X. I've seen someone with, XXII, then their name. I was like, that looks cool. Change it to that. But I'd always have a different gamer tag alias every time. But I don't know, it's made Buzzin', and then I sort of, over time, I was just like, it's easier just to go with Buzzo. Everyone calls me that now anyway, because I play with that name. It's just easier going with Buzzo.
Anyway, do you remember any of your early gamer tags?
First ever gamer tag was a random generated one. It was Sloshy Emperor. I had Killer Aussie because I used to play Battlefield on the old Xbox. I was probably 11, 12, so I was known as, Australian freak, blah, blah, blah.
You started out pretty young as well.
Yeah.
Was Battlefield your first competitive game, or what was?
Competitive-wise, in the sense of a team, and I would say FIFA 06 I was playing on. I've been playing games since, whatever, like Nintendo and Donkey Kong. I started off on FIFA 06, got to about 150 in the world, so I was about 10, then went to Battlefield, played that for a few years, and I actually got a 360 in Call of Duty 4 when that came out, and I went to it, and I didn't like it. I honestly set it up, played a few games, and I was like, man, this is crap. I didn't like the Call of Duty. There was no competitive edge. It was just, you playing your public team deathmatch and headquarters and stuff like that. The people I used to play with on Battlefield were European players, American players. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think they might have shut down the servers, went to COD 4, and then, then on, every COD. I think I quit Black Ops 1. Really didn't like the game. I think it was steering more to 5v5s. I quit, and I was reading, cyber gaming here and there. I quit for about 8 months. And I was reading, I was seeing this guy called Naked winning everything, winning the lane, Naked this. They were like Vamped, Kyle, Naked, and Sten maybe. I'm not taking this. So
So you were goaded into the return, basically, because you didn't want to lose your crown.
Someone else be talked about as the best 4v4 team. And it's funny because Naked now, obviously everyone will know him as our manager, and how we teamed for years and won this, won that, been overseas together. We're best friends basically. So COD 4 we had me, Krypton. Krypton got banned for a year. No, he got banned for a year or permanently. I haven't spoken to him basically since then. We had Sketchy, also known as Blurs. We had his cousin Chaos. We had Asteria, who now plays. I've known him since I was 13, 14. The first time I'd ever seen him was Black Ops 2, so a couple years ago. It was sort of a cool feeling knowing that you play with him back.
So how did you sort of find your way over to cybergamer?
I don't know, I just like competitive aspect. I like the feeling of, someone talking shit to you, you talk shit back to them and you beat them, and it's like, we're better than you. I just like the whole competitive aspect. I liked winning. We don't do this for the money, and back then it was never for the money, and I was young as well, so money to me and to younger kids is basically, it's irrelevant, really. So I really don't know how it was. I think it was just, your typical Xbox 360, your bios that you have on there is like, go check out this. And someone must have sent a message, it was like, go come join my team, or come do this. I think it was originally Aussie Xbox.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Aussie Xbox, I think 6 months maybe, went to Cybergamer, and then it's just, so yeah, I've basically been with Cybergamer from the start of it and seen it grow up, I guess.
So you have seen this community grow up pretty much from the beginning as well.
And I was always the one sort of pushing 44 because I could see how it was a lot more fun to play, especially for myself, and I could see that, everyone else over the world was playing it, so why wouldn't we play, you know what I mean? So if you're watching a scrim, you're watching teams play, it's fun to watch. If you're watching team play 5v5s, they sit there for a minute and a half aiming a doorway, that's not fun. No one enjoys watching that. So I always, nagged about how this is the way of the future, everyone's going to play it. Nowadays, Does Play's brought it back. I don't know how that's going, but I think they get a few teams. Yeah, it's sort of, you sign up just for fun and play it. I think that's why in this game our search and destroy really lacks, because we're so used to, you got to say, for example, you got a map and you got your 4 people everywhere, everyone cuts off lanes, do you know what I mean? So we're used to the traditional sort of search and destroy where everyone watches away and you get yourself in positions to cut off the map. Whereas on Advanced Warfare, it's literally brainless idiots, your headless chook. You go in packs, so you can obviously double jump and dash, and you're literally in their spawn within 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So our old school sort of play style from back then, 5v5, sitting in corners, getting cuts, sound whoring people, it doesn't really work anymore. So I guess, in Ghosts, it helped. Trident, obviously, they came 5th. So that helped. I think that's where they really got it from. Issei and Dens, they've always played 5v5. So that's where, Americans have given us, the S&D gods, Australian S&D gods. People don't really realise that it's the new mechanics of the game just completely.
Just don't allow for that old style.
The way we look at it as a team, there's really no brain pattern to it. It's just like, oh, let's run here. We have a joke around our team, like if we lose an S&D, and we've even done it here. We lost to Trident in the second map, and we go, oh, we didn't play dumb enough. Normally when we lose an S&D, it's never really close. I've found that, like when we lose an S&D, we just lose. It. Yeah. We can't string anything together. And then you're these new kids, younger kids that like the whole, look at me, I'm jumping around shooting people when I'm flying. They make themselves look better at S13 and Street. Obviously they still, there's some mechanics to it, but it does make people look a lot better than what they really are.
All right, so I have a question for you now. Are you someone who supports the community? Do you look to the future of ANZCoD? Do you want this to be, something that you would sort of devote a lot of your time, like even your life to? Or is it more just you want to play and you want to have a good time?
I don't know, obviously I like to see the community get bigger and teams, teams step up and start to challenge us and challenge overseas teams. But then you still got to look at the fact that I'm still playing, so I'm still wanting to win, obviously. Mm-hmm. So there's still that aspect of wanting to help people to get better. But then if you play them and they beat you with your own stuff, then it's sort of like, oh, do I really want to keep doing it?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Obviously, I want the community to grow. I want to do everything to try and grow them. We just don't have the population like America do. Like you look at the gaming population in America, they've got more people playing games in America than Australia's total population of people.
Yeah.
So it's just numbers wise like that. They can do a good stream and they can get a couple thousand people in, and it's just easy. Whereas us, we've always got the same people coming in to tune in, and it's like, oh, we'll get a few Americans in to watch. But
it's a struggle.
Yeah, like I said, I want it to grow because more teams, better for us. More teams to play against. You're gonna find those kids that are freaks, and like I found Fighter. He was just a natural freak. We picked him up, trained him.
When did you pick Fighter up?
Modern Warfare 3.
He
was a PlayStation 3 player. Sten Guns picked him up. He's like, oh, this kid's a freak. He was a bit weird. He was obsessed with him. And I was like, oh, he's a bit young. Whatever.
Stens and Fighter.
Yeah.
Just okay.
So yeah, I was like, oh, okay, he's a bit young. He was like, I think he was 13 at that point. But he was like, yeah, he's got potential. Like his just reactions, like little kids, how they're just so fast. Like even at this event, like the young kids, you notice the kids that were just
so snappy. It's just it's insane.
And I've noticed, excuse me, as I've gotten older, it sort of becomes more of a you try and outthink your opponent, and so it's not like obviously you get in the points where your reaction, like you have your games, you have your moments where you feel like you're on point. And you're not, so you got to more outthinking people. But this game is sort of hard because it's so fast.
This game really does allow for younger kids or younger people with better reaction times to really, like you said earlier, when you're talking about S&D and people moving around a lot, and it sort of looks like they're doing things, but they may not necessarily
that's why it favors the younger kids.
Yeah,
because their
so
hand-eye
fast
coordination, their reaction times. Like
I hate it.
Yeah, like when I was a 15-year-old, I was an absolute freak. Like I could just pull out a gun, run in somewhere, snap onto everyone.
Yeah.
Whereas, now that we're all getting older, it sounds stupid because we're all 18, 19, 20, but your reactions do go down a bit. You just gotta, it comes to the point where you have to learn the game more. So it's either, you choose to grind it and play it a lot, and you have that consistency to play well, I guess, instead of relying on natural reactions. But I think we're all where we are because we have, obviously, best reactions, or one of the best reactions.